Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't been here before, my name is Julie and I primarily make content surrounding mental health, makeup, as well as music. Today's video is a mental health video. Today I'm going to be talking about why nutrition and exercise are good for our mental health. We hear this all the time. We hear generalizations as to why. I mean, logically it makes sense. But if you're interested in some of the more clinically scientific aspects, then just keep watching. So although I'm in school to be a counselor, I am not licensed. I did find this information from credible sources, whether it was research articles or written by someone who is licensed and qualified to speak on the topic. So first, I'm going to talk about the mental health benefits of nutrition. I found a blog on Harvard University's website where a psychiatrist was talking about how people in Eastern cultures sometimes have less mental health concerns, and they believe there's a correlation between their diet compared to a typical Western diet. There's the Mediterranean diet, the Japanese diet, and these Eastern cultures tend to eat less processed foods, less processed carbs. They eat a higher amount of vegetables, fruits, and they limit their meat consumption as well. Their diet has been linked to better mental health in some aspects. In regard to specific vitamins and minerals, I'm going to read some information I also found in this article. So another argument is that I've talked about this before, but serotonin, which is a neurotransmitter involved in mood and appetite and things like that, is produced in the gastrointestinal tract, and it's actually 90% present there. It's a pretty high proportion. This makes logical sense why what we put in our gut, because it's digesting in our digestive tract where serotonin is, would correlate with our mood and anxiety and inner struggles. Study found that in mice, diets low in magnesium food were found to increase anxiety-related behaviors. Foods high in magnesium may make a person feel calmer, they argue. Foods with magnesium include leafy greens like spinach or Swiss chard. You can also consume legumes, nuts, seeds, as well as whole grains. Zinc is another helpful mineral, which you can get from oysters, cashews, liver, beef, and egg yolks. It's good, there's some vegan options. We hear a lot about omega-3 fatty acids, which come from fish typically. So there's a study on how omega-3 fatty acids improve depression. Now, I'm not telling you need to eat fish by any means. I'm not a nutritionist, and I think the vegan lifestyle is awesome, and I'm sure you can take supplements. So take your supplements. A study in the Psychiatry Research Journal suggested a link between probiotic foods and a lowering of social anxieties, such as pickles, sauerkraut, which was linked to fewer symptoms. I'm very interested in that. I don't see why that would make a difference unless there was a placebo effect, but it's interesting. Asparagus is known to be a healthy vegetable, and the Chinese government approved the use of an asparagus extract as a natural functional food and beverage. Foods rich in B vitamins such as avocado and almonds, apparently. Some of these foods that I previously mentioned are categorized according to them as feel-good foods, and that they spur the release of neurotransmitters like serotonin as well as dopamine. And obviously managing your diet is a very minimal side effect way to take care of your mental health. Although you absolutely take your meds. It's important to take your meds if you're on meds, and go to therapy and do other things to care for your mental health. Diet is only one aspect of the whole picture of your treatment. They also argue it's important not to skip meals because complex carbohydrates tend to quell blood sugar spikes, and skipping meals can lead to more anxiety during these blood sugar spikes as well. This article came from a research study I took some things from. Deficiencies in neurotransmitters such as serotonin, dopamine, noradrenaline, and GABA are often associated with depression, and reported in several studies, amino acids such as tryptophan, tyrosine are helpful in treating mood disorders such as depression. When consumed alone on an empty stomach, tryptophan, which is a precursor of serotonin, can be converted to serotonin, which is why tryptophan tends to induce sleep and tranquility. So that one's interesting. I believe tryptophan's found in turkey. I'd be curious as to what vegan options it's found in. There's obviously a link between depression and poor diet. Not to say the poor diet causes it, but when we feel depressed, we don't feel too motivated to cook for ourselves or eat healthy foods, and either many of us will crave foods that aren't so great for us in the end, or will undereat and have no appetite. Moving forward into exercise and why clinically it is good for mental health. We have another research article here that talks about aerobic exercises such as jogging, swimming, cycling, walking, gardening, as well as dancing have been proved to reduce anxiety and depression. These improvements in mood are proposed to be caused by exercise-induced increase in blood circulation to the brain and by an influence on the HPA axis. So the HPA axis, according to this, communicates with different regions of the brain, such as the limbic system and the hippocampus. So the limbic system controls motivation and mood, and the amygdala as well generates fear in response to stress. And the hippocampus has to do with memory formation and also plays a role in mood and motivation. Exercise scientifically increases blood flow and blood circulation, which ultimately is supposed to help reduce anxiety and mood distress symptoms. Lifestyle changes that focus on the accumulation and increase of moderate intensity activity throughout the day seem to be most appropriate for most patients. I love this. I wholeheartedly agree with this. If you want to work out intensely and have mad fitness goals, props to you. If that helps your anxiety, great, but that ain't me. I like to walk. I like to do very light workouts. I've been doing in-home 20 to 30 minute light workouts lately, and that's been working great for my brain. I'm not trying to pass out doing a workout. I just want to feel good about myself and feel healthy. The nice thing they talk about here, and I remember learning this in an outpatient partial program, is that walking for 10 minutes 3 times a day is the same for you mentally as walking for a half hour once a day. I believe it's not the same for other aspects like fat reduction and, well, who cares? The article claims that brisk walking 3 days a week is sufficient enough to receive these health benefits, and that seems like a good balance to me because that's exercising just about every other day. Not to say you can't be active on the other days, whether you're doing housework or going for a lighter walk and not a brisk walk, but I like the idea of this balance, and I like that it's scientifically backed up that this is good for your mental health. I love this. This makes sense. I never considered it, but a research article that talked about all different types of exercise and how a massive research study found that they were effective for cardio, strength training, flexibility. Team sports had the best percentage for the least amount of mental health days because these sports not only involve physical activity but lead to social opportunities. Forming friendships through hobbies has been known to help with depression and ease social anxiety, which makes sense because if you're less withdrawn, hopefully you'll be less depressed because feeling connected to other people makes many of us, including myself, feel really freaking good and helps with that a lot. And easing social anxiety is great because you all have a common interest. We're playing basketball. We want to get in shape and take care of ourselves, and we're having fun, and we're having team bonding, like a recreational team for adults. That sounds like a really cool option. So I like that this is backed up by a research study. The last aspect I'm going to talk about today is yoga, and I'm sure it's kind of like a buzzword along with meditation and mindfulness nowadays, but beginner yoga is great. You can go more intense if that's your thing. It's not my thing. I used to take yoga classes and I do enjoy it. According to the American Psychological Association, yoga helps with relaxation and easing stress. Eliminating high stress levels is beneficial for those who have uncontrollable negative thoughts, which is common in mental illnesses such as anxiety, depression, and PTSD. This is the only thing in my whole research that mentioned that exercise can help PTSD, and I really think that yoga is a great aspect for that. I've been getting ads recently about trauma-informed yoga. My friend goes to a yoga studio where they do trauma-informed yoga because, as we know, trauma holds itself in the body, and that can partially be why we have tense shoulders and things like that. Trauma-informed yoga is great because it targets those areas of our body that may be really tense from trauma. In this way, we're directly treating the trauma physically, which is one aspect of trauma treatment. Figure out what kind of workout you like, whether you want to do an in-home workout, join a gym when all this ish blows over, go for walks outside, stretch, do yoga, do resistance bands, go to the gym and lift when you can go back to the gym, whatever you think is going to suit you. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed it. I'd love for you to subscribe to my channel as well. My Instagram is Julie_counseling and my Twitter is JulieCounseling with no underscore. My Facebook page will be linked down below as well, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye guys!